The Golden Gate Parkway overpass opened yesterday and the ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held tomorrow. The view of Naples from the top of the new overpass is a spectacular sight, but what about the view of the overpass itself? My guest today says it's ugly, with about as much charm as an airport runway. Joining me in the studio is Michael Spencer of MSA Design Incorporated. Thanks, Michael, for coming in.
My pleasure.
You give a new view of this. We've been heralding it and looking forward to its opening. But first of all, let's give a little bit of your background. So you're a landscape architect?
I'm a landscape architect. I've been practicing here for about 25 years. My clients are primarily land developers, and our services include landscape planting design, but the bulk of our work is land planning. We lay out new communities for developers.
And now, just to set the record straight, you don't have an axe to grind with the county, where this is your personal views.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. The only axe I have to grind is I'd like to see them require higher design standards for some of the things that they're building for us and in our name.
I'd like to read us on your website, badlandscaping.com.
Yeah.
I noticed that I thought it was kind of funny that you said the overpass, quote, sits there like a large piece of disagreeable mold on a lovely piece of cheese.
Well, isn't that the case?
So I guess it's all right unless you like gorgonzola, right?
I guess.
But anyway, isn't though most landscaping or highway design ugly?
Is it? I don't think that's the case. I really don't think that's the case. I think that some bridges, bridge abutments, bridge approaches are some of the loveliest forms that we see in our built environment. There are these lovely spiral shapes and reverse curves that really are pleasing to the eye and can relate a necessary civil improvement. Highways can relate that to the site and give it to its landscape and give it some scale. But that's not the case that we have here.
So you're saying this new overpass, it clashes with its surroundings or with our environment here?
Why on earth are we applying fake northern rock to the side of that material, to the side of that bridge? Why are we doing that? Why have we put those silly light poles on top of pilasters with beautiful little caps on them and then just stuck a pole on top of those? I mean, these are just aesthetic questions, and aesthetics is really the issue, isn't it? I mean, we're going to be looking at that bridge for the next 50 years.
Well, what would you have liked to have seen done? What could they have done with that?
Well, I think there's functional issues. I think that we go an awful long way towards accommodating people so that they can save 5 minutes getting to Publix. And really, that's what's happened. That's why we build these bridges and we build these very wide streets, that just so people can save a few more minutes. Now, I think that civil engineering design is a little bit out of control in this county.
Now, I must admit, I did notice that they have some, looks like terracotta relief, like some rectangles that are stuck in the middle of the bricks, which I thought that clashed, and I thought, well, maybe they're going to paint them or something, but I guess they're not. That's going to be what.
Why couldn't those reliefs have followed the form of the bridge rather than horizontal to the road, or to the underlying road? And that just seems simple. The form of a bridge is to the human eye, is really it can be very appealing. Take a look at the Golden Gate Bridge, for example. Why do people like those spires, and why do they like those cables that are hanging down? Because it's a form that's appealing to the human eye. All I'm saying is that people have to drive underneath that bridge all the time with those big, huge green girders and no attention paid to what those look like for northbound and southbound folks on airport roads. They've got planters under there that raise the plants up, not only raise the plants up out of where people can see them, but put them further in the dark where they're not going to grow anyway.
Well, now this final look of the overpass wasn't just a willy-nilly approach, I'm guessing. I mean, it was $38 million, and somebody spent some time and some effort and sat down and, I guess, designed it. Where does it come? How does that happen, you think?
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think? You know, that bridge was designed by some fine local civil engineers. RWA is a fine company. I've worked with them on many civil projects. I'm not faulting the bridge in terms of function, other than to point out that the city of Naples fought this bridge tooth and nail because they disagreed with the necessity of it functionally. I'm talking about it aesthetically. I'm saying that the bridge doesn't have the aesthetic details. It's the last 5% of design that really makes a difference. That 5% is not there.
Now, this is the first Collier County overpass, they're calling it, and obviously we know in the works there are probably going to be ones that probably not the county may be behind it, but the Florida Department of Transportation will be behind, probably doing an overpass on US 41 East and 951, and probably Bonita Beach Road and US 41 north. Would you maybe be, in the future, be trying to take more of an active role in seeing that they don't turn out like this one that we just are having the ribbon cutting tomorrow?
If you walk through life watching your feet take one step at a time, you may at the end of your road look up and find that you've gone someplace that you don't think you ever wanted to go. And that's what we're doing in Collier County now. You ask people whether they want Collier County to look like Fort Lauderdale and they'll say no. And yet how does that happen? It happens one intersection, one road improvement, and one overpass at a time. That's how it happens. The answer is yes. Somebody needs to speak up for this. And I'm not inventing anything here. You know, these design techniques are well known. They're just not being used.
Okay. Well, we're out of time for today, Michael. I appreciate you joining us, and you did want to plug your website is MSA Design.
MSAdesign.com and badlandscaping.com.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, great. Well, thank you for coming in. And you can read Michael's full review of the new overpass on badlandscaping.com and check out our coverage of the overpass this week on naplesnews.com.
And Alex Adeyanju joins us now for the Daily Sports Report. So, Alex, the season's over for our local all-star softball team.
That's right. The Naples Queens semifinal action last night. They did not win the game. We'll tell you all about it coming up next inside Studio 55.